what to do when you cannot uninstall Google Gemini app. Because in this tutorial I've shown how to disable and remove Gemini app. That was for this phone. And in this video session we're going to look at a different phone, because as the comments are saying, different phones don't have the uninstall option. So what can you do then? So if you go to Google Play, you can see here Google Assistant is installed, but I can't uninstall it. And there is no Gemini app here to uninstall. If you go to your phone settings, you look at your apps, app management. If you search for Gemini, it's not here. Right? In this video session, it was there because it's a different phone. So in such scenarios where you cannot uninstall Gemini, I'll show you what's the next best thing. So what we can do in this example, depending on your phone, let's press on apps, search for Assistant, because then we'll have the Google Assistant. As we can see, we cannot uninstall this either, because it's built into Google Android device, so to speak. We can only force stop it. So if you have that option, you can only force stop it. Disable the app. So if these are options here, then you can do that. Now what if you're not seeing this either? Then it may be the case that you actually need to go to your Google app itself. Press on all services, press on search assistant and voice. Here, as we can see, although there is no Gemini app that is on this device, because we're looking at Google settings here, as in Google Assistant and Gemini app is part of Google. It's not an app to uninstall on this particular device, on this phone model. So here what we can then do is say, okay, you know what, let's press on Google Assistant to see what options do we have here. What we can do is press on digital assistants from Google. We can actually switch. So currently we can do that, but as Google is saying, soon the Gemini app will replace Google Assistant. So when you're watching this, you may actually not have this switching option. So if you have the switch option, then perhaps switch it and then force stop it, if that makes sense. Because that particular two-step solution is better, because we can force stop Google Assistant on some phones, correct? So if you have that option to force stop Google Assistant, then make sure you select the digital assistant from Google to be Google Assistant, and then force stop Google Assistant, okay? Because then your phone won't be using Gemini. It will be using Google Assistant, whereby you've disabled it or forced stopped it. So then, what can we do? Let's look at Assistant as well. And here, digital assistant from Google, we made the switch. Then we can find our voice settings. Voice match. Let's take a look. Because we're living in Google AI world, at times if you have this unchecked, as in if you have this toggled on, then even if you have a conversation saying, hey Google, it's gonna start interacting with you, and that's rather annoying, right? So you may actually want to disable that, as in hey Google and voice match. Okay, so that's the next step. That means if you cannot uninstall the Gemini app, these are the only options basically available, unless we want to, have root access and start modifying the system apps. That I cannot show you because that's going to void warranty and may actually, stuff up your phone. So hey Google and voice match, have that toggled off. That's the next best thing. While driving, turn that off as well. And lastly, from your settings, you can actually search. This may be of help for some phone users. In your microphone, you can actually block access to the microphone itself. Because Google AI, by the time you're watching this, it's gonna probably be, talking with us. So, if you watch this tutorial and you cannot uninstall Google Gemini, you cannot uninstall Google Assistant, then remember what you can do. Go to your app settings, find Google Assistant, and force stop. Now, before you do that, you go to your Google app and switch between Gemini and Google Assistant. So your default is Google Assistant, whereby you may be able to disable or force stop it, because you cannot uninstall Gemini app on some phones. And it seems that in the future you basically will not be able to uninstall it at all, which is perhaps a little bit tricky. But nonetheless, what you can then do is actually go and manage your Google account and double check the data and privacy settings and so on. Okay, so if privacy is absolutely critical for you, do keep in mind that Google account management options does give you great privacy control settings. So I hope this video session has been of help. If you cannot uninstall Google Assistant or Google Gemini app, now you know what options are available for you using your mobile phone. I thank you for learning with Rankia. If you've got any questions or comments, although you can use the video comment section, you can actually visit my blog and perhaps comment here so that others can also gain insights from your experience. And I'll talk with you in the next video session.